Living Local presents Biz Buzz 413.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here at the 413 Entrepreneur Spotlight. It is Biz Buzz 413, and we are live. I love live days. This is your host, Jill Munson. Hopefully you know that by now, but I don't know. Anyway, we are super excited. We are again at Common Capital. Them, along with Living Local 413, host this special night every month. And this month is really cool because this month we are celebrating Women's History Month, or anyone who identifies as, because I want to be very gender affirming. So that's very important. But we have a special guest tonight who's going to be our presenter and there's a panel and all these awesome people, including Janelle, who you can listen to the podcast that I did with her previously at one of the other lives we were at. She's awesome. But anyway, so CWE, the Center for Women and Enterprise, will be here. I just interviewed the executive director, so you can listen back to Gabby on that and find out all about the organization. But I wanted to interview with my short little blurbs that we do here. I wanted to make sure I pulled in some women business owners. And it was so fun because I got to literally pull in a guest who lives and breathes in my world like every day. So I want you to help me give a big Biz Buzz 413 welcome to Lynn Turner, Chief Explorer, which is really a cool title, from Core Business XP Solutions. That is her business. And you do, lack of a better word, almost what I do at Pop More. And that is coaching and training for individuals in the space of, developing their leadership skills.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So come right up here to the microphone.
Sure.
You're such a tiny human and I'm such a loud human. So what I first of all wanted to say is that I love that we are two women in similar spaces and that we can respect each other, do an interview, and hopefully get to know each other so we can refer business.
Absolutely.
Do you find that common in women business owners, or do you find that women are still trying to find their way to push and not necessarily bring the others along? What are you finding?
I feel I see more collaboration.
I love that.
Yeah, I am definitely seeing more collaboration. I'm seeing more women wanting to support other women, which I love.
I do too, because that feeling of like we say it and then we don't do it. And I'm like, we need to start really doing it, and really actively making that step. So I'm grateful that I get this chance to start with you. Not start with you, I mean, a few other women in the past, but like in terms of the industry we're in. But you're actually a member of CWE. Can you tell me, because a lot of people, like, there's so many organizations, there's chambers, there's, business organizations, there's networking groups, there's all the things. And people sometimes listening are like, oh, Jill, I can't join everything. So in your opinion, and I'm not selling any one of them, I don't get any commission, but in your opinion, Lynn, why CWE? What has it done for you in your business?
Well, it's interesting. I literally, just got introduced to that. I've known about them for a while, but it was actually another woman in a similar field, Colleen DeVecchio.
I love Colleen.
Yes.
The squiggle.
The squiggle. The squiggle is real. So Colleen was the one that mentioned that they had an accelerator program because my business was fairly new. I didn't think that I was eligible to become certified, so I had held off for a while. And then there were some other things, but anyhow, she had said that there was an accelerator program that was taking place and within Western Mass. So I was like, yeah. So I was like, okay. And it's one of these things that you have to fill out an application and go through a process to get accepted. So I was kind of on the fence. It was interesting because it was kind of during a busy time and they were doing it a certain day and I actually had another commitment, but I'm like, you know what? Let's fill out the application. If I get accepted, great.
Fate, right?
Yeah. I'll figure it out. I'll work out. And if I don't, okay, business as usual, right? So yeah, I did. I filled out the application, and of course, as it happened, which was fabulous. It's a great problem to have, right? So I got accepted, and it was wonderful. So as a facilitator and a coach, and then being facilitated and coached,
it's hard. We we are a hard nut to
group.
crack. That's not just me. My
No.
wife always, I think she thinks it's me. It's not just me.
No. So it was like, how is this going to be? But it was perfect timing because I was at this point that I was like, I need to focus on the business
Yep.
because, it's almost like the cobbler.
Yeah.
You focus
Trust
on
me,
you focus on everybody else. And so the timing couldn't have been better. So I applied, I got accepted, and the facilitator was amazing.
love that.
She was amazing. It was virtual. Um, she just really took her time, made sure to give us the space
Okay. Yeah, that's important.
within
Yeah.
the sessions to do the work because as a woman, she understood that we're wearing very many hats and have a lot of different responsibilities. So she factored that in
Yeah.
to the process.
So tell me a little bit about, because you have on, and I think it was on your LinkedIn, so I hope that's where I got it from, but you have this line that says that your company, which is, in case you don't know, Core Business XP Solutions, it's Lynn Turner, helping individuals and organizations build a strong core. What's great though is you're not talking about my abs. You're saying a strong core of people and culture so that they can weather this and I don't know how you pronounce it, but VUCA.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. This
Yeah.
VUCA. And I was like, VUCA, so I want you to tell people what VUCA is. What is that?
Yeah, sure. VUCA, it's actually a term that came out of the military, the end of the Cold War, of all
Okay.
things.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Um,
didn't pay attention in history, so
either did I. So that's when they said, I was like, okay, that's something that happened a while ago. But basically, at that time, the military became concerned with what do our threats look like with the dismantling, after the dismantling of the Soviet Union.
Okay.
So threats look different. And if you fast forward to 9/11, that's something that they were afraid of.
Yeah.
But it's an acronym that stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity.
Well, yeah. Wow, and how appropriate. Literally today, as we are having, I've read another thing that like the what is the Strait of Hormuz is never going to ever be able to be passable again. It sounds like, and we have those literal the uncertainty that directly impacts the women business owners here. I was talking earlier with transportation, and gas prices like $5 a gallon almost. It's like so. Yeah, exactly what you're teaching is going to be historic through time because that all of those things apply.
Absolutely. I mean, that if that doesn't explain the world that we are living in and have been living
Yeah.
in for quite some time, and it's really, I tell people it's not necessarily about the change, it's more about the pace of the change.
Okay.
Things are speeding up faster and faster.
Yeah.
And so it's making it more difficult to keep up.
Right. The
For
blessing and the curse, all the things we wish for. I say that like I interviewed somebody to talk about AI. It's all the things we wish for, all the things we want, but it terrifies the hell out of us. Right. And it's
Mhm.
faster than we can imagine.
Absolutely. And that's part of it, right? And that's what's helped speed
Yep.
things up
Yep.
is technology.
Yep.
So it is about, can we slow things down? So there's a flip side to VUCA. You fight VUCA with VUCA. So the flip side of VUCA is VUCA Prime, which is vision.
Okay.
Have a direction, you don't have to have it fully baked,
Right.
but at
You
least
gotta know,
have
are you going north or are you going south? 'Cause-
exactly.
And I definitely suggest north at this point because south, no, just kidding. South seems to be not because south is warm, but there's a whole lot of other problems going on.
Yes, exactly. So, at least like you said, have a general direction that you're going. The U stands for understanding.
Mm.
And understanding is both about what's going on internally for your organization, for your workforce, et cetera, as well as, your systems and process, all of that. But also, do you have an understanding of the external world and
Mm.
what's going on? Somebody needs to be kind of looking out there to see, the iceberg that's approaching.
Yeah. Okay. And then what's the rest of the letters? We've got C and A.
So C is for clarity. So you
Okay.
want that clarity of message.
Okay.
And then the A is for agility because the famous word during 2020,
Pivot.
pivot.
So it brings me to you talk about 2020 and the pandemic. And so before when we were off air, I said to you, I wanted to ask you something. So how long have you had the business?
Since 2021.
Okay. So mine is 2023. By the way, my company is called Pop More because I forget. Yeah,
love
Cobbler
that
Kid.
name.
I forget to say my own company all the time. But whether we're talking about your company or my company or what I'm so when I started around the same time as you, I was so worried because I said to my wife, I said, Jen, it feels like the recession when everyone that had a job that lost their job became a consultant. It was a consultant of this, a consultant of that, right? And so now I didn't lose my job and I don't know your circumstances, but here we are. We decided to start this business, but there's this influx right now of everybody. It used to be like you walked into a room, a networking, and it would be like everybody was a financial advisor. Now everybody is a coach of some
Yes.
kind. Like I go, hi, what do you do? They're like, I'm a coach. I'm like, basketball?
Right.
But so I struggle with that because I'm an out of the box girl. I don't want to be like I want to
I
be
know.
different.
Yeah.
So how are you like, because I still struggle with it. Not even just the word coach, but like, how do I differentiate? How do I make sure that I have a message that stands out? And so I guess I really want to ask you, did you struggle with any of that or am I crazy? And then if you did or didn't, what's your perspective on that?
Yeah, I think it is an oversaturated term,
Hmm.
right? So, and the other thing is the industry is not regulated like others.
Hmm.
So, there's lots of people calling themselves coaches. I think everybody has a different approach and a different idea
Hmm.
too
Yeah.
of what coaching is.
1,000%.
So I think it is, and there's lots of different niches.
Well, and there's a lot of different, like honestly, certifications. So I don't have a certification in consulting. I have a background in facilitation and public speaking, and I have a MBA, and I have years of being a business owner. So I've taken all of that, and I'm not discounting certification. I would like to get maybe certified. I love education, but I can't figure out what's legit because I get this stuff like every day in my feed and it's like, get certified, get certified. And I'm like, everybody, it's like a Yahoo. It's like a clown cert, I don't get it. Like, I don't want to be in a clown car. And I know there are some more formalized certifications, but it's just very fascinating. I think what you said, that no regulation piece. So we're talking a lot, and I do have to keep these short. I've already talked longer than I'm supposed to, but I think you're awesome. So I want a business card. We're going to do some work together
Absolutely.
without a doubt. Any final message that you want a listener that is listening right now and struggling a little bit in this turmoil of this VUCA and this feeling of like, I don't know, up from down, I don't know, left from right, besides the obvious, which is call you or email you or me, but you. But that being said, is there just a quick message you want people to know right now?
I think it's important to breathe, first of all, right?
Oh, that's what's missing.
Breathe. And y- we're all in this journey, right? But it's our journey. And I don't know that we have to, I feel sometimes like we're in this comparison
God.
and it's not, I don't know that it's healthy. We each are on our own path. We've got to take the steps that we need to take in our own time, and it is about having support. Find a good support
I love that.
system, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you.
I'm
Just find the right people.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank
being here.
you.
Lynn Turner, everybody, her company Core Business XP Solutions. And in case you're wondering or you missed it, this is BizBuzz 413. I'm your host, Jill Munson, and we're live at the 413 Entrepreneur Spotlight. If you're not making it this month, well, shame on you because CWE is here. But next month, we're heading east. We're taking our spotlight on the road to Berkshire County, and we'll be doing it in collaboration with One Berkshire. We hope to see you. Make sure you register because these sell out. Stay tuned for another interview live from 413 Entrepreneur Spotlight.